So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. My name is Al Graham and we are coming to you live, and that's right, live, here on lifestyleradio.ca as well as on Spreaker. Tonight my joint host is Debbie Stultz-Giffin, and she has brought us a guest who is involved in what's called higher living wellness, helping patients, getting the information out there. But before we learn more about these people, or this person, I'm going to have a little quick chat with Debbie. Debbie, are you there?
Hi Al, how are you doing?
Not too bad, you know, it's one of those things, we could spend an hour just talking about some problems, but I'm not gonna.
I hear you.
You understand, eh? You know, it just seems after you get past a certain age, you start to break down a little bit, eh?
Next topic.
Yeah. Okay, talking about breaking down and clamping down. In our news item today, I want to briefly talk to you about is a news conference that has, not a news conference, the clamping down on the dispensaries in Toronto and how they are going at them there. I'm seeing it constantly in the news. I'm seeing the advocates there trying to attend meetings, being shut out, not being allowed to speak up. And it's patients will be suffering. I've seen reports in newspapers as well that the dispensary end of the market here in Canada is worth like 4 times more than what the commercial licensed producers are getting. So are they attacking dispensaries to try to keep the money, wanting the money to go to the commercial producers or anything? You're down there on the East Coast, Debbie. Are you getting, I'm sure you're getting the news, but are you hearing much about what's happening up here in Ontario?
Well, certainly primarily through Facebook, Al, I'm picking up on the concern of fellow activists and people connected with dispensaries, patients certainly in the Toronto area about what's going on, feeling a great sense of concern that there is safe access to therapeutic cannabis is coming under scrutiny and under jeopardy. Yeah.
Now, I've seen, like, Bill Blair's mentioned in the paper about trying to make it safe for the communities and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, where has it been unsafe? What thing could you be connected to a dispensary to say, or a compassion club, and say, well, because of them, we ended up with this violence in our neighborhood, or because of them, we ended up with all this destruction? I don't see anything like that. All I'm just hearing is words that don't have any facts or evidence behind them.
Well, and certainly, interestingly enough, in the Allard decision, Justice Phelan recognized the importance of dispensaries, and I believe the words he used were that they are at the heart of cannabis access, for goodness sakes. Jamie Shaw from the BC Compassion Club Society presented information during that trial, and he heard just how essential and beneficial medical cannabis dispensaries are to people requiring therapeutic cannabis.
Yeah, exactly. And
so it behooves me. It's short-sighted of Toronto not to look into doing something similar to Vancouver and Victoria. Certainly I'm not advocating the exorbitant registration fees that Vancouver is imposing, but something sensible, a means of regulating them, and don't do anything to the existing clubs, certainly until you can get a system in place. And I don't envision it being a process that would take that long.
No, I don't think it would, because you're seeing more and more going on. Like down there, you see some mail delivery or same day delivery being offered. I believe that was in BC by one of the licensed producers. And I'm thinking, well, Health Canada toured Canada to see how the dispensaries worked. They turned around and they made the program, the application process very similar to dispensaries. Now they're coming out with this, they did the mail order, which the dispensaries are doing. Now they're doing same-day delivery, personal delivery, which the dispensaries offered in the past. So, they just seems to be copying everything the dispensaries are doing, so why not just make the dispensaries legal?
Well, really, and nothing in my mind, if I'm going elsewhere for medicine, I'd like to be able to look at it, to smell it, to talk to somebody who has an understanding of how that medicine may affect me. And
Correct.
Certainly the licensed producers don't seem to be offering anything remotely resembling that as a service from what...
No, and there's many items. The world has evolved. The internet's there. There's so many things now that you can buy online, or you can go to the store and buy it. So why can't you do the same with your cannabis? Right?
Well, certainly. Yeah, we need every method of affordable, reasonable access out there available.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one more thing I want to touch on the Toronto end of it is I see that there's been a release been sent out, a media release has been sent out. Councillor Jim Carey-Giannis, the name is pronounced properly, but I can tell you he used to be a Liberal MP at one time, but now he's a councillor for Ward 39, Scarborough Agincourt. He's going to hold a press conference tomorrow in respect to regulation of medical cannabis dispensaries in Toronto. So it looks like maybe he might be putting some type of motion forward.
Well, it would certainly be nice to see some kind of a moratorium to put in effect to cease harassment, discrimination, and potential prosecution and arrest of the dispensaries until the city can get its act together.
Exactly. I see they got a doctor, Dr. Ahmed. He's a chronic pain doctor. There's some patient advocates that will be speaking. Ryan Edwards, he's a veteran. He's a patient advocate. Go ahead.
I know Ryan, not personally, but I know of Ryan and have worked with him in the past. He's with Marijuana for Trauma in Newfoundland.
Nice. So they got a veteran involved. Even they got a fellow from the Toronto Taxpayers Coalition, a lady, Andrea. She's going to be speaking. She's the president there. So that'd be interesting to hear from the taxpayers' end of it all, as well as somebody we all know very well, and according to this, Kirk Tusaw. He's going to be there speaking as well.
Interesting.
Yes, it'd be interesting to hear what he has to say. So everybody tune in tomorrow online somewhere. They're going to have this announcement at 1 o'clock tomorrow from Toronto City Hall, I guess. Members Lounge is what it says here. So, alrighty. Well, talking about all this, it's time to bring guests in. I know she's somebody who's been helping a lot of patients in that. I'm sure we'll find out more as we go along. So at this time, I'd like to welcome our guest, Heidi Chartrand, to the Pace Radio Show. Heidi, you there?
I am. Thank you.
Good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm not doing too bad. I know that quite often over the last while it's been cool, rainy, or snowing. Actually, we had hail on Sunday. Here it was nice and warm. For some reason we had hail, but today's been a really, really warm day. We're talking like 28, 30 over the weekend coming out.
Jeez.
So Yeah. Hey, just think. Normally, as it leaves here, it heads your guys' way, right?
Well, we usually get all the
I hope
seasons
the
and
hail
each
doesn't
and
come
every
your way.
day,
You
so
can have
I
the
don't hold
warm.
my breath waiting for nice weather for a whole day.
Oh. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. I hope you have some nice weather soon. Okay, Debbie, I'm going to hand the reins over to you. And then, as I said earlier, I'll jump in as we go along.
Okay, thanks, Al. Heidi, I guess the best place to start, I think, is with your newest adventure, the Higher Living Wellness Center. And I guess it's not really a new adventure because you've had the Higher Living Wellness Center for a while, but more recently moved into a physical location in Lower Sackville.
Yes, that's correct.
Wondering if you'd like to tell our listeners a little bit about the center and what goes on there.
Sure. So we recently opened up a safe medication lounge. I've been working really closely with medical marijuana patients over the past couple of years and come to realize that there aren't many resources here in town for people to go and learn about different ways to process their medication, different methods of consumption, heck, how to even use a vaporizer, and let alone find out any information on various strains. Now, there are various head shops, if you will, around town, and you can go there, but you're not going to be able to sit down and go through the processing your medication with somebody if you don't know how to do it. There's nobody there to help you make capsules to take at home later on. There's nowhere for you to go to find out how you can even find a compassionate doctor. And these are some of the things that we touch on at Higher Living Wellness Center. We actually work with 2 compassionate doctors, and you only pay a fee if they are willing to actually sign for you. So it's basically a one-stop shop. You can come in, you can use our lounge, you can medicate, you can access our various treatment modalities. Right now we offer massage therapy and acupuncture as well as meditation sessions. So we also have a retail store as well, so you can come hang out with patients, discuss the weather, discuss your medication, just have a good time in general in a relaxing and welcoming atmosphere.
Well, and I can certainly attest to the welcoming and friendly atmosphere, having been by the Higher Living Wellness Center just recently as an opportunity to come and see you and check things out, but also to medicate before I hit the road after the Global Marijuana Rally. And
that's one of the things we hear from a lot of our patients is instead of having to go and hide in a back alley somewhere for fear of discrimination or prosecution, people can come into our store, sit in our lounge, use their medication, and still feel human without people sitting there and judging them. And that was a really a very important thing for me, reasons why I opened up that place.
Well, and certainly you don't feel like you have to be looking over your shoulder the whole time.
No.
Which is it's a nice feeling.
When you're used to, looking over your shoulder every time you need to use your medication for fear that, somebody's going to come and hassle you, cops are going to come and throw some handcuffs on you, it's very refreshing to know that there is a place that you can go and not have to worry about that.
Well, for sure, and like you say, to have all of your questions answered about preparing and consuming cannabis and finding doctors, it's just overall an awesome service that you're offering to people.
Thank you.
What I like about it is that you offer more than just being a signing clinic or anything like that. You're offering these massages. You're doing consultations. You're doing I'm reading it here off your website. You help people cooking with cannabis and stuff like that.
Yeah, so basically I come from the massage therapy world. I've done massage therapy for the past 12 years now. And I also come from the medical marijuana world, so what better opportunity than to merge the two together and help educate people and get them to a healthier state of body and mind.
Yeah.
And your pardon me, your massages also have the option of using medicated massage oil.
Absolutely. So my massage and acupuncture patients can come in. They can medicate in our lounge prior to having one of their therapeutic treatments done. And if the patients have their medical marijuana license and they do want medicated massage oil, it acts as like a Rub A535 type of gel. So you get the pain relieving type gel from it, as well as your medication before and or after the session.
So it's coming at those sore and aching muscles from a couple of different angles.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Al, I cut you off.
Oh, no problem, Dad. That's all right. I don't mind that whatsoever. Okay. You mentioned you have acupuncture. Now, as far as your cooking with cannabis and stuff like that, do you offer classes, or is this something that you just will help people with guidance if they come in for questions?
Well, we've barely been open a month so far. So right now it's been on a one-on-one consultation type of basis. But we've been speaking with a lot of the members of the community as well as some of the doctors in town. And one of the things that gets brought up quite frequently in the doctor visits is, how do I process this to be able to eat it? So we will be actually offering classes and doing in-house demos as well for our patients. So that is something that we're going to be getting going within the next couple of weeks here.
Nice, good, because as an advocate myself, and Debbie, I'm sure agrees, that gets asked so often. People want to know about the cooking of it and how to use it in a non-smoking form, because not everybody smokes and not everybody wants to start smoking.
Not everybody is in a position to be able to do that. A lot of the times people face discrimination because of the smell that comes with our products, and smoking is one of the stinkiest ways that you can use it. Me, obviously, I love every way and think every way should be treated with respect, but not everybody sees it that way. And if you're in, say, an apartment building and every time you light up your medication you're getting hassled from your neighbors, well, chances are you're going to move on to find a different way to not have to deal with the harassment anymore, as opposed to sitting there lighting up a joint and fighting people off every day.
Well, and certainly the edibles have great appeal to seniors in particular, I've been finding.
That's one of the main questions that we get when we have elderly population coming in through the store is about the edibles. A lot of them are more eager to take the edibles or the capsules as opposed to wanting to vaporize or smoke their medication.
I suppose it makes it seem more like medication to them.
I think that's the whole frame of mind that they're in, because to sit there and smoke a joint, there's a lot of stigma that's still attached to that. But if you have the exact same product in a fancy little pill, you can pop that, nobody asks you any questions, and away you go with your day.
Exactly, and it allows you some freedom, to move around when you have those alternative choices. And people, like you say, not everybody likes to deal with the stigma of the smell. So by having those alternatives and learning about it, if people get educated and more people learn, the better we'll all be, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, it's break time, and time to go to commercial, pay some bills. As we go into our commercial breaks tonight, we will highlight cannabis band as we normally do, and tonight that band is The Salads and their song Weed and Wine. When we return, Debbie and I will continue our talk with Heidi Chartrand of the Higher Living Wellness Center. This is the Pace Radio Show on lifestyleradio.ca.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
I'm fine, feeling kinda groovy. Alright.
following is a public service announcement from the Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society. The Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society is a non-profit organization dedicated to ensuring improved access to therapeutic cannabis and cannabis byproducts in Canada. With a federal government that has committed to legalizing cannabis, we feel it is our duty to ensure that the medicinal use of cannabis doesn't get lost in the process and that there are clear distinctions made between the medicinal and recreational use of cannabis. It is our mission to ensure that government regulation doesn't get in the way of a sick, disabled, or terminally ill person's right to use or produce this amazing natural health product. If you would like to get involved, you can contact us on the internet. www.canadiantherapeuticCannabisPartners.com, on Facebook, CTCP Society, or search Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners.
This is Al Graham of the Pace Radio Show. Are you keeping pace, as in keeping people advocating cannabis education? If you're not, and you're a cannabis consumer, then why not? Others are working hard every day to help educate people about cannabis so you can enjoy your daily 420. Get involved and speak out. Be loud and proud so that you can keep pace. Tune into the Pace Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear about people advocating cannabis education here on lifestyleradio.ca.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
I'm fine, feeling kinda groovy. I rap because of a debate. I'm mad, I'm a watch a movie. A good movie, real good movie. Red wine goes nice with some weight. Makes me...
Hello and welcome back. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show live here at lifestyleradio.ca and at Spreaker. Or you can find us at other audio locations such as Mixcloud and TuneIn Radio. Okay, I wanted to let everyone know that Lifestyle Radio will be broadcasting live from the Lift Expo in Toronto. It's at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre this Saturday and Sunday. We will be broadcasting live there on Saturday throughout the day. That'll be myself, Al Rapp of the 420 Radio Show and Lifestyle Radio. We'll be interviewing vendors as well as advocates live on the floor and probably from the media area. And who knows, maybe we'll grab some people that are just walking by on the street and say, hey, you know, what do you think? You got a medical marijuana expo going on here in Toronto. What's your opinion? You know, we would just do some spontaneous stuff. I always love that stuff. It surprises people. So yeah, tune in Saturday here at Lifestyle Radio and hear what's happening at the Left Expo in Toronto. Today on the Pace Radio Show, I'm joined by our guest, Heidi Chartrand from the Higher Living Wellness Center, plus my super joint host, Debbie Stultz-Giffin of the Maritimers United for Medical Marijuana. Debbie, you there?
I am, Al.
Good. Just never know. Your weather down there, you guys get some snow. You know, I know you guys don't like that stuff. So, okay. Before the break, we're talking about Heidi's business and what all they offer and stuff like that. So I have a question for Heidi. Heidi, what I was wondering, we were talking before as the show got started in our news, some of the problems that are happening here in Toronto. In the past, we've had some guests that have had some problems in Nova Scotia. Along the same line, how are you being received?
Well, we were...
This could be one of those questions with a slightly longer answer, Al.
So we are in a wicked awesome location, and we have some really awesome neighbors, and we have some neighbors that aren't our biggest fans, I guess you could say. I think a lot of it falls under the lack of information about the medical regime, and Nova Scotia is a little bit behind the times compared to, say, Vancouver when it comes to this sort of thing. So not everybody gets it, and not everybody supports what we're doing.
Right.
I'm the type of person, I'm used to being in the face of the fire, I guess you could say, on behalf of the patients, and pretty well in every other aspect of life too. So for this one here, we are really lucky. We do have the support of our landlord, but not all of the other tenants in the building. So unfortunately, we have had some issues. We've had some of our patients get screamed at for their choice of medication, and we've had the Department of Environment called on us. We've had the RCMP. We've had the drug unit. Every time people come out, they get educated, and then they leave. So far, so good, but we do have issues.
Yeah. Go ahead, Debbie.
The homicide unit were even involved at one point, weren't they, Heidi? Wow.
Yeah, that was about 2 weeks ago tomorrow. We had a little visit from Phil Abba with the drug unit and his little partner from homicide, who says he was just there for support. I was kind of a little flattered that he felt he needed support to come out and deal with me. I'm a whopping 5'3", nothing on a good day with heels on. So, sending homicide out for backup, I won't lie, I felt like that was a little bit of a pat on the back for me.
Oh, wow. Oh, homicide, wow.
Right? As cannabis patients, we get a little wild sometimes after we vape, so better send in the big guns, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow.
But the good news is, because of all of this, I've actually scored a meeting with Leo Glevine, the Minister of Health for Nova Scotia here, for Friday, to get it in writing for the rest of the cannabis patients out there that we are legally and lawfully allowed to consume our medication whenever, wherever, and in any form to which we choose. So, you got to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's the meeting with my buddy Leo this Friday.
And he's your Nova Scotia MP, I guess? Yeah,
so he handles Kings, Debbie, the area down there, Kings County, I guess it's called?
Yeah, he's the MLA for Kings County, or at least the western end of Kings County, and he's the Health and Wellness Minister. And it's under this Liberal government that the e-cig regulation was put in effect. Basically, if you read it, you would have to question how medical cannabis patients would be handled. Although Leo assured me in his office before that was put into place that it wasn't his intention to throw patients under the bus, yet the legislation was never changed in such a way that it would add clarity to it.
Yeah. Is that something that you can get involved in, Heidi?
Well, actually, on April 25th, when the Department of Environment paid a little visit to my store to try to tell me that I'm not allowed to use my medication in there anymore, they actually advised me to speak with Leo Glevine, so I did that, and I told them they should probably follow up on that as well if they're going to be out enforcing such laws. Now, they didn't take their own advice and follow up with Leo, but I did. And when I spoke with Leo that day, he actually asked me if I would be interested in working with him to reword the legislation to ensure that these sorts of things don't continue to happen to patients.
Nice.
Interestingly enough, when I met with him probably almost 2 years ago now, because I think the legislation's been in effect that long, if I'm not mistaken. I presented him with with a rewrite of the legislation that would make it quite apparent that patients weren't to be included in any of it. So it's not as interesting because it shouldn't be a novel concept to him.
It shouldn't.
No, I think he's realized the grounds and the mess that it's created the way that it is, so maybe now it's time for action.
Well, I wish that over here in Ontario that, maybe our health people would see that, because I'm sure you guys saw the flip-flop that happened this year with ours, where patients were allowed to go public in November, and then the next day, when the public screamed, the government put everything on hold, and in January put the medical cannabis patients under the Smoke-Free Tobacco Act, so that medical patients are going to be only allowed to vaporize wherever people can smoke cigarettes.
I think that's personally crazy myself, because they don't tell diabetics where to take their insulin shots. They don't tell asthmatics where to take their puffers. So why are they doing that with the medical cannabis patients? And I think that's really good grounds for a charter challenge. Now, mind you, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but telling somebody where they can or can't consume their medication seems to be a huge violation of rights to me.
Exactly, and the government even said that they were told, like this back in November, that they were told that, they'll end up in court, and I can just imagine as soon as someone gets charged, a patient gets charged, they'll find themselves in court.
Absolutely.
Well, and I suspect that's the sense of urgency that our health minister here in Nova Scotia is perhaps finally picking up on.
Yes. Well, let's hope so, and then let's hope that it is very supportive and that it can spread across the country.
Well, certainly this province has great potential to basically establish a template that can be used right across the country.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So tell him, Heidi, the eyes of the country are upon him.
I can't wait for my meeting on Friday. I'm so excited.
Good. It's good. It's good that you're excited to go and see them and talk to them about that, because, that's what we need. People who speak up and keep on.
Certainly, you mentioned your good buddy Leo. And I spoke of speaking with him earlier, but it's certainly not wouldn't be the first time that you've spoken with him, and it wasn't the first time that I'd spoken with him.
No, we were lucky enough to crash Rob Roy's meeting with him back in, September or October, which gave me a foot in the door. If you ever meet me in person, I leave a lasting impression, I guess you could say. And when I picked up the phone on April 25th and called Leo with his consultants in my office, he most definitely remembered me. So I don't expect this meeting will be any different.
Well, and I'll be anxious to hear the outcomes.
Well, you can always crash it if you want, Deb.
Well, I might just do that. You never know.
There's an invite.
What time's your meeting?
9:30.
And in Kingston, I take it?
Yeah, he's a little too hard to track down here in Halifax, so I tracked him down out your way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's much easier to get an appointment with him at the local constituency office for sure.
And I've been speaking with his receptionist there quite a few times. She's fielded my calls now. She sensed the urgency, so that's why she gave me the first spot in the morning.
Awesome. Well, I'll mark that in my calendar for sure.
Yeah, it's very good that you're getting this. You're getting this time to spend time and talk to him and be able to be heard. So let's hope that you get heard loud and clear, and patients won't have to suffer like they're going to have to suffer here in Ontario until we go to court. So,
sad, but that's where it's going to end up.
Deb, have you got any more questions along that line on that stuff, or would you like to jump into a little bit more of Heidi's business?
Well, I one thing I don't think that got mentioned is that I notice occasionally you do things like have movie nights at the lounge.
Yeah, so we're all about patient interaction at Higher Living Wellness Center, and we really like it when we can all get together and hang out and have a good time. So we have pizza days, so we don't usually advertise a whole lot in advance, but if you keep a close eye on our Facebook page, we do have pizza times where we'll go, and Pizza Delic beside us is absolutely amazing. They treat us like gold, and they bring over the best pizza in all of Sackville, and we supply it for our patients there some of the nights throughout the month. We also do movie nights. We have patient taught classes as well. So if you wanted to come in and do a guided meditation, we offer medicated meditation sessions where it's all patient-led. So we like to encourage our patients, if they have a specific set of skills, or maybe they're really good at art, if there's something that they want to share with other patients, we give them the opportunity to use our space and come in and teach the people.
I think that's a really important thing to do.
We had a lot of outsiders, if you will, want to come in and work inside the wellness center with the patients, but we always like to source within our community first before looking to outside sources to bring them in, because a lot of patients are very receptive to what other patients have to offer. So if we can build each other up within the community, I think that's the best place to start looking. And at the end of the day, everybody feels better if you've been helped to be built up for the day, and people like your business, they like what you're offering, or maybe you're trading nail art for tattoo work. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's welcome in our store, up for trade or educational purposes for the rest of our patients.
Oh, it's a wonderful idea. It's certainly very empowering, I'm sure, for a number of the patients, and gratifying and rewarding to people who are able to come in and support them and learn from them as well. It's win-win in my mind.
Oh yeah. It sounds like it's an opportunity for all these people to learn everything. There was something I had in the back of my head I was going to mention, and I lost it.
I like to look at it as it's giving our patients an opportunity to feel like they are still part of society. What we see a lot of is people who suffer from PTSD, anxiety, depression, and a lot of times these people don't even want to leave their homes. This gives them a reason to want to leave, to want to come out. People are valuing their time, they're valuing their services, they're valuing the information that these people want to give. And every single patient that comes into Higher Living Wellness Center, they can become walking through the parking lot with a scowl on their face, and the second they come through that door, their whole face lights right up because they feel like they're at home. In some cases, maybe it's even better than home. I don't know, but all I know is every single person who comes in there has said to us that they truly appreciate us being there and the environment that they are coming into.
Well, it's such a safe and warm and friendly environment that I can't see it being anything but beneficial to most people coming through the door.
Oh yeah, for sure. What I look at it as is when I first got my Crohn's disease and got sick, I was looking for a place where I could go and speak to other people, hear their stories, see how they dealt with their issues. And what you're offering is something where people who have who are cannabis patients, allow them to do that, to go and share their stories and trade ideas and learn from each other.
We actually have the community health team, which is a branch of the local hospitals here. They're actually located in the same building as us upstairs, and they got some of our mail one day. So a couple of the ladies came down. They didn't realize we were even in the building, And when we told them what we were doing there and the resources that we had to offer for people, they thought it was absolutely fantastic because there's nowhere to go in this city right now for this sort of information, for this sort of interaction with other patients.
Great. You're doing a super job, Heidi. Doing a super job. We got to go to a commercial break, and we'll continue this conversation afterwards to learn a little bit more about Heidi and her services and what they're doing over there. It says they're doing a great job. As I mentioned earlier, tonight our band that we have for our music is The Salads, and we're playing a song of theirs called Weed and Wine. And when we return, Debbie and I will continue this conversation with Heidi Chartrand of the Higher Wellness Center, and you're listening to the Pace Radio Show here at lifestyleradio.ca.
Listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
The National Task Force on Medicinal Cannabis is a group of not-for-profit organizations dedicated to influencing government policy with factual evidence. Our mission is to ensure that a constitutional medical program is developed that will address the concerns of all Canadians that require therapeutic cannabis. The task force is looking for dedicated people who are willing to contribute to our cause. We have formed this task force to foster a unified approach and focus on lobbying the federal government and Health Canada. We represent the combined expertise of thousands of patients with more than a decade of experience. As a task force participant, you, your business, or your group will have an opportunity to show that you care and offer your unique skills to promote the cause. If you would like to get involved, go to medcanataskforce.org. That's medcanataskforce.org and use the Contact Us link to get started. Help us help you.
Tune into the Pace Radio Show and catch Kim Cooper, Debbie Stultz-Giffin, or Allison Murden, along with myself, Al Graham, as we talk to Canadian and international cannabis advocates who are working hard to help patients and to end cannabis prohibition. Catch us live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at lifestyleradio.ca.
Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to the Pace Radio Show. We are being broadcasted live at lifestyleradio.ca. Plus, you can find us at Shoutcast, YouTube, and other social media. Tonight, we feature the Ontario-based band, The Salads, and their song, Weed and Wine. Sounds like a relaxing evening if you like wine. These guys have traveled the Toronto bar scene for many years, and I believe they still do. So if you ever get a chance to see them, I suggest that you just take a night out and listen to their music. Tonight on the Pace Radio Show, I'm joined by our guest, Heidi Chartrand of Higher Living Wellness Center, and my joint host, Debbie Stultz-Giffin, who is with the Maritimers United for Medical Marijuana. Debbie and Heidi, you there?
Yep.
Good. Debbie, you're there too, I assume?
I am, Al.
Good, good. Hey, you know, if we had a TV, I could see you. I just like that. Okay, before I hand you back over to Debbie, I got a question for you. Heidi, I see on your website that your health services, that you guys also take public and private insurance plans?
Yes, we do. So for massage therapy as well as the acupuncture, if your plan allows for direct billing, then we will bill directly your health insurance plan so you don't have to pay out of pocket.
Nice, nice. So a patient could come in, get a massage. Can it be a medicated massage or just a massage? I guess it's just a massage.
I don't charge anything extra to infuse the oil, so all the massages are still billable through the health insurance plans. The only catch is you got to bring your own oil if you want it infused.
Good. I understand that then. Okay. And one last question. Now, are you guys also? Oh yeah, you mentioned you were assigning clinic because you had 2 doctors on site, right? Or 2 doctors were available, right?
We work with 2 doctors. They're not on site, but we don't charge a fee if the doctor won't sign for you. So there's no risk.
Good. Okay. I'm going to pass it back over to Deb.
Okay.
Thanks, Al. Heidi, another area that you're quite active in, and we just kind of touched on it fleetingly with mentioning Rob Roy in the last segment of the show, has been your involvement in the courts, in going to court and supporting patients. And I'm wondering if you'd just like to talk about that experience for a few minutes.
Sure. So I got involved in all of this court rigmarole back in 2014 when all of the patients were gearing up to take on the federal government. So before that, I lived a pretty reserved life. Only my close friends and family knew about my medical marijuana use, and I was happy with that. And somehow along the way, I got roped into being the East Coast rep for all of the self-represented litigants that were filing John Trammell's kits. So because of that, I lost my nice, cozy little cannabis closet that I was hanging out in for years and years and ended up at the forefront helping all of these patients. So through that, I actually got to meet a lot of really absolutely amazing people, and I wouldn't change that experience for anything. It sucks because some of the times I had to go to court because my friend spent the weekend in South because his store got raided. It sucks because you have to go to court because another patient got traumatized and raided needlessly because the rules are unclear or the police weren't sure how to act. Either way, court support is a huge part of why I do this. Nobody ever wants to feel alone when they're up on charges, and if there's something that we could do to help out, then, you know, if anything, just having somebody there saying that they understand, they support you, and they're there for you is better than going at it alone. So we've been pretty involved in all of those things, and I don't know, I'm a little excited about it, but I've made it all the way up to the Supreme Court of Canada now as a self-represented litigant, and for somebody who wanted to be a lawyer growing up, that's kind of cool to do it without any law training whatsoever. So I look at it on the fun side of things as well as helping out the patient.
Well, for sure. For sure.
Knowing that you wanted to be a lawyer, it's good to see that you're getting involved in this court program, you know, and getting in there and helping people out, and going to Supreme Court too. Wow.
I wanted to be a lawyer till I found out how much money it was going to cost and how many years I had to do in school, and then that changed me into the massage therapy direction instead. So this way I still get to, you know, have my fun with the courts and help patients too. So I get the best of both worlds this way.
Well,
I got to think that even your you know, your desire to be a lawyer and to deal with the law too would also, you know, be good for you when it comes to dealing with the situation, as we were talking earlier about, you know, the people in your area and whether they supported you or not, you know, and dealing with the government. obviously.
It was actually really great. I got a compliment the other night, and I try to minimize my interactions with law enforcement, of course. But the alarm was going off at our store the other night, so we had to go down and deal with that. And one of the officers stayed around to chat with me a little longer about the licensing process because he didn't know anything of it. So I took the opportunity to educate him. And during our conversation, he's like, "Wow, you sound like a lawyer." And I'm like, "Man, you have no idea how much of a compliment that is to someone like me." So that's my nerdy side.
Good. Yeah, because it's, if you had that in the past, then it's something that, when you had a chance, even though you say you didn't have any training, you still had a desire in that. So you may have, some knowledge or, maybe a little experience in where to look where some people wouldn't have. So.
I honestly have to give full credit to John Termel. That man has been a serious inspiration to me ever since the minute I heard about him. So I owe it all to that guy.
Okay. Yes, I know of John. I've seen him at rallies and stuff at up at Parliament Hill and in Toronto as well.
And interestingly enough, the last time I was in court with Heidi, and that would have been in support of Rob Roy, there was someone else who was in court that morning over cannabis-related charges, and Heidi hopped out and ran out the door after him and gave him a quash kit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm bad for that.
Yeah,
as soon as I heard cannabis, I was all over him. And then I found out he had illegal cigarettes too, and I'm like, "Oh man, you're on your own. I can't help you with that."
No, you sound very similar to a lady up here by the name of Diane. I believe Deb Maynor, who would go to courts and would sit in there and find out patients or people who were fighting a court case that were medical but didn't know anything about the program and stuff like that, and find them and help them out. Get them licensed, get them legal. So you sound like somebody who would be just as willing to stand there, and if there was somebody who needed a hand, you give them a hand if you had time.
Absolutely, and that doesn't just stick inside the courts. It's anywhere I see somebody in trouble. I always look to help people out.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. We need people like that, and it's good to hear that you broke out of your cannabis closet and look, you bloomed into a huge flower. So yes, it's good. Thank you for
Very
that.
sativa-like and uplifting, I might add.
Yes. Okay, let's see, what else can we talk about here? Is there anything that you would like to mention about your business, the services that you offered that we haven't touched on?
I think we've covered a lot of things about my business. The only thing that, it has been mentioned, but I'd like to bring up again is, take a minute and be nice. Like, please, people, just be nice and stop discriminating against patients.
Yeah. Now, have you reached out to maybe like your local BIA? Like, you have anything like that along that line, or Chamber of Commerce, or anything like that?
There's Chamber of Commerce here, but I haven't gone down those business avenues.
No way, because like a friend of mine here in our town, he's opening up a business, a head shop with some growing equipment and things like that, and that's what he's gone done. He's gone and joined the Chamber of Commerce. Gets a nice little sticker on the window. Opening day, gets the dignitaries there, the MP and the mayors and stuff will come, be there for ribbon cutting ceremony, and he'll be able to attend the meetings in order to be able to get involved with the business community. So that's why I was curious whether you've done that. I've talked to other businesses in Toronto that have done that, and it may allow those businesses around you that you mentioned earlier that had some concerns, and you'd be able to actually confront them face to face at a meeting.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. And it's another way of outreach, right?
Absolutely.
So, but Debbie, we're down. We got about 5 more minutes here to go. We've covered, quite a bit of what Heidi has here for business-wise. Is it, that? And then we haven't talked about how they can get a hold of you. How do they get a hold of you?
Facebook is huge. We get a lot of messages on Facebook, and then we have a website as well. But honestly, most of our people contact us through Facebook or they call the shop.
Good. And they can just get a hold of you through there and connect you. That's great. You guys respond. Basically, you guys are probably on there all the time. I know there's some people on Facebook, they have stuff they posted and they only show up once a week.
We're usually floating not too far away. I think our longest response time right now is like 2 hours. So we try to be pretty quick, but we can't always get there as soon as a message comes in.
I'm sure you have a little more to do than just attend to social media.
Sometimes, yes.
Yes, you do. What else offhand can we? Is it what you got coming in? You got any events? Do you do any public shows? Like we have fairs and trade shows here.
Yeah. So we are actually looking at putting a vehicle in the Canada Day Parade that goes through Sackville right now. So that was the next thing on our list. But then that's also Cannabis Day, so we're trying to figure out what times the parades are going to run and if that's going to give us enough time to go and still be able to set up over on the Commons to participate in all the festivities over there. But outside of that, we're also participating in the, help me out here, Debbie, it's the Harvest Fest, the John Cook Memorial.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
So we're the 9th annual Harvest Fest and the 2nd annual John Cook Memorial Cup that's happening July 22nd to 24th here in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, so we're participating in that as well as in Peace East, which is an educational festival as well. So we're going to be doing talks at that one too. So we try to do a lot of community outreach. We sponsored the under 15 local boys football team so far this year. We gave to a couple camp days, and one of our patients does some curling events as well, so we told him we'd sponsor him as well for that. So we try to do what we can and keep things within our community.
I find it interesting you sponsor a boys baseball team.
Football, yeah.
Football team.
Yeah. I was at one of the stores near our shop, and I heard somebody asking about sponsorship, and I went over to the guy and the kid, and I just said, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be nosy, but I heard that you're looking for sponsorship. And he's like, yeah. I was like, well, what's it for? He said, oh, the under 15 or 17 local boys football team. So I was like, man, I got a shop across the street. If you want to come up, I'd be more than happy to give you a couple gift certificates for the store. It's a cannabis-based business, but if you're cool with that, I'd love to help you out. And they came over to the shop about 3 minutes later and picked up their gift certificates, thanked us, and we sent them on their way.
Ah, that is fantastic. Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Wow, on the back of the jerseys, higher living wellness.
I wish. This was just for a gift card tree that they're doing a draw on, but maybe next year we'll look at sponsoring the jerseys.
Something like that, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Now, I got one more question for you before I throw you back over to Deb, see if she has any more for you. Now, I have a business, a local business, which is very similar to yours. Offers massage and alternative and holistic therapy treatments and stuff like that. Now, they've just sort of gotten into the cannabis end a little bit. As far as, they have some coconut oil, magic butter machine, and a few little things to help patients create these alternative things. If they ever had any type of questions, would you be willing to talk to them about if they wanted to expand into the cannabis route more along the way and offer some of the services that you do offer?
Absolutely.
Would you be willing to talk to businesses like that?
Absolutely. The way I see it is, we're all a big family here, and the more people that can help others, the happier I am. Because right now we are living in an age of misinformation, and there's nowhere near enough people that know about the healing benefits of cannabis. So the more people we can bring on board, the better it is. Spread the love, baby. Spread the love.
That's right. Exactly. Hey, Deb, you got any more questions for Heidi?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head at the moment. Is there anything in general that you might like to talk about for a few minutes, Heidi?
I would just say that all the self-represented litigants, keep an eye out on John Tramel's stuff. There's some moves coming up here soon, and outside of that, just be nice. Everybody just be nice.
Just be nice. That's right. Okay.
Unity in the community.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And it is one great big community, and we're all here for the same thing. So, all right, Heidi, we're down to the last end of the show here. Would you like an opportunity to? We always ask our guests for a shout out. Let them highlight their website or promote somebody who's doing some tremendous work. Anything along that line that you'd like to do?
Yeah, I would like to send out a little bit of love to the rest of the CannaFam businesses around here. We have Tasty Buds, High Life, Pharmacist, Hemptations, Hemp Heaven, and Steve's Hydro. They have all been wicked awesome supporters of my business, so I most definitely want to share the love with all of them.
Great. Thank you for that. That's what we like to see. Everybody working together for the same cause. Debbie, have you got somebody you'd like to throw a shout out to?
Well, actually, I'm going to put in another plug for the 8th annual Harvest, or 9th, annual Harvest Fest and 2nd annual John Cook Memorial Cup. And if there's anyone listening who's interested in entering the cup or would like to have more information about the festival, being a sponsor, a speaker, a volunteer, don't hesitate to get in touch. Look us up on Facebook under the Maritimers Unite for Medical Marijuana Society, and the event is pinned at the very top of the page, and you can get in touch with me through there.
Good. One thing I wanted to...
And I also, can I sneak in one more word?
Sure, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out of thanks to the Higher Living Wellness Center for being one of the gold sponsors of this event.
So excited about that.
Heidi, being you're still there, don't leave yet. What you didn't do, and ask for a shout out, we've talked about your Facebook page, but where can we find you on your website?
Website is higherlivingwellness.ca, and we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at 902 Higher Living.
God, there you go, got it out. All right, thank you very much, Heidi, for doing this. And
thanks so much for having me.
All right, hey, we appreciate you coming on, but don't leave yet. I'm not done. Just a reminder to let everybody know that I will be back next Wednesday with Joint Host Kim Cooper and her guests as we continue to promote those who are fighting to bring an end to cannabis prohibition. You can find Pace on Twitter at Pace Radio, and you can also like us on Facebook. We can also be found on the web at pace-online.ca or by searching for people advocating cannabis education. Thank you to our sponsors, the friendly folks at BMA Hydroponics, who are located in Belleville, Ontario, LRAP of Lifestyle Radio. Also, a big thank you to our guest, Heidi Chartrand of the Higher Living Wellness Center, and my joint host, Debbie Stultz-Giffin of Maritimers United for Medical Marijuana, Plus, a big thank you to you, our listeners, for tuning into the program. And don't forget, catch us live Saturday at From the Left Expo. You can catch us here at lifestyleradio.ca. Thank you for listening, and good night.
Good night.
So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during